Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Diamond Moment. I'm your host, Luciana Cordero, and today I'm here with Chase. Hi, Chase. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, so let's get started and talk a little bit about your journey. So, I wanted to know, how long have you been competing for?
Well, technically this is my first MMA fight, but I wrestled a long time. I wrestled since freshman year, but I used to wrestle just nonstop every day because it was like an outlet for me. It was something that really was there for me always when I didn't have anything, and it just pushed me. It really helped me in life, and it really pushed me forward. So that's why I'm like so dedicated to this, and I really want this. This fight is going to be a lot more than just a fight for me. This is what I want. Like, this is my passion.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I mean, that's definitely great motivation. What would you say first got you into wrestling?
Well, I've always kind of grew up in a little like kind of in a hard life. So, and I was a bigger kid growing up. So, I needed something to really motivate me and change that. And I stepped in the wrestling room, and that was unbelievable. I had great coaches. My coach was a three-time D1 All-American for Ohio State, so he really taught me everything I know. And that from there, I it went on and took it. And this has been the most unbelievable journey I've ever had in my life, and it's really brought me so many great things, and I brought so many great connections with it. I've met so many great people, including Valhalla MMA, who they brought me in, and they were just super happy to have me. And honestly, it's just like a family, and I've never been happier in my life.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear that. It definitely is great to hear that and how a sport can bring so many people together. You talked about your coaches. I wanted to know, do you have any mentors, any like mentoring figures that you follow as a fighter?
Well, I mean, like as like personal ones, or like as in like people I see like in like the MMA world, or like that. What?
I would say maybe more personal, like who do you look up to that helps you keep pushing forward?
Honestly, I mean, I don't Michael Schick. He was the three-time D1 All American. He was the one that was always pushing me, always telling me I can always do more. When the moments when you want to stop and stuff's too hard, he was the one that's like you don't even know what your body can handle. There's a mental capacity some people can handle and some people can't. And it was the fact that I always wanted it. I always wanted something. I just was a sponge. I wanted to learn everything, and that's all I could really do at the time. And the more and the more I did that, the more and the more work I put in, I kept getting more out of it. And that's, it's awesome. It's what I want. And not only did it like make me get better as a fighter or a wrestler or any of that, it's created who I am today as like as a person. Like everything I look towards, I want to strive and be the best. I want to be great for people. I want to make people feel good. I want to make everyone around me just be super positive, because that's what I've been around, and that's what everyone has brought to me. And I just want to bring that back to everyone around me.
That's amazing to hear, honestly. And yeah, I wanted to know a little bit about your fighting style. How has it evolved over time? Because you mentioned that this is your first time technically like competing, but
hmm
you've been wrestling before. How have you prepared for this moment?
Honestly, it's just you have to go in with no nerves. It's more exciting. It's just like it's a dream to come in that cage. It's what I've ever since I was a little kid. I was like, man, I want to be a fighter, but like, it's the fact that I can put it in reality now, just because I know I've put in that work, and I continue putting in that work. I've taken my lumps, and I got to take the nerves with the happy, and it's just all excitement, and that's just where I'm at. I'm excited. I feel like I can't wait to get in that cage. I just you have to
Yeah,
have a smile. You have to always be ready.
that's right. And well, you were talking a little bit before about being prepared, like mentally as well as physically, because well, fighting is a very physical sport. Combat sports
Oh,
are
for
very
sure.
physical, but they also really take a toll on you mentally.
Hmm.
You have to be prepared mentally to do it. So I wanted to ask you, how do you make sure that your mind is like 100% so that your body can match up to it and you can, I guess, just like compete and be give 100% of yourself?
I have to really take the time to myself and really think about what I want out of this. What's gonna push me to continue to want this, and what's gonna help me mentally prepare for this. Like you were saying, it's just like what man, how do I even put this? It's more like the reward, the benefits out of it, like what reality, what's gonna bring to me, like life. Like it's nothing but hard work. And I have to you have to take that time to realize like who you are. You can't just train and expect that's the way it's going to go just because you train so hard. Like you have to have the mental and the physical aspects in it, like you were saying. And it's super mentally taxing, but when it comes down to it, it's all for fun. You have to love what you do. You can't just do it, not like it. So I stay super positive, and I've been training. You got to go in with a smile, and I have to go out with a smile. It's always got to be fun.
Right. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and you'll learn
Exactly.
more from standing up than just like staying up, you know?
Exactly.
Uh, so what would you say is one lesson that you've learned through fighting that's shaped who you are today?
Definitely be humble. You can never let whatever accomplishments you've made in the past, or what someone has said about you, or even if you have like negative people that are around you that are like don't believe in you. You have to just take it with a grain of salt. And you're the one. You are the only one, and that's in that cage. That's what's so different about fighting and wrestling, any of that compared to other sports. It's just you in that cage. So it's like you have to know what's good for you and what's going to be the best for you in that situation. You can't let the crowd get to you. You can't let anyone get to you when it comes to that. Especially when I've put so much time and effort going into it. That's the time to shine, and that's just how I have to go into it. I can't have any negative opinions affect me. I can't let any of that affect me.
Yeah, and kind of talking about like the negative things, I mean, everyone faces setbacks, right? So how you've talked about your motivation, but how has there been any situations where you've been like either knocked down in the cage or just like knocked down, felt like you were knocked down, going through a tough moment, and like you used fighting to like what motivated you in your fighting to stand back up?
Well, I mean, everyone takes their lumps, and it's the fact that some people they stray away from taking their lumps because they think it's over from there. But honestly, when you take your lumps, it's the only way you learn, and it's the only way you. It's a whole positive mindset. You can't let one lump make you forget about your dream. The only way people get their dreams if they go through all those lumps until it finally just sets in. Because the more work you put in, the more positive everything you put into it is what's going to come back out of it, especially if it's a positive attitude, especially if you have positive atmosphere around you. Like Valhalla, everyone there is it's just family.
Right. I mean, it's either you win or you learn, right? So,
Exactly. Win,
uh,
win or learn
yeah.
every time. That's you always have to take it. You always have to take it like that, and that's always how I've been. I never want to be someone that has an ego and let that get to me. I never want that. I want to be the most humble person I can be, and I want to go in that cage and show what I really can do.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And when you look at your journey so far, I know it's not a lot, but like if you look back right now from when you first started, is there a fight or an experience that stands out to you and you're like, oh, this was definitely like a turning point?
Yeah, in my junior year I made the state finals, and I lost, and it really hurt. It really hurt. It really put me in a low, and I was like, man, because I trained so much to get because I wanted to win a state title, and it hurts. When you don't come out at the top of it, especially when you put all that work in all year. But you know, I I just have to keep thinking to myself, like I've put in all this work for not for nothing, and I still get something out of it. But I just know there's so much more to accomplish. And honestly, like even after my loss, it always hurt. It always hurt, and but it's what the hurt that makes it so much better when you actually get what you want. It's just like more of a drive. It's almost like when you take your lump. it motivates you just so much, 10,000 times more than if you continuously win, 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 win. There's so much emotion that comes with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, um, you kind of like learn how to appreciate winning when you've lost, instead of like,
Exactly.
if you're just winning and you've never experienced losing, then the first time that you lose is going to be like awful, and it's going to make you not want to do it anymore. But if you have lost before and like you win and lose, you know that there's always like somewhere better where you can be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's always
It's
greatness to be accomplished if you put it like that in your
exactly.
mind.
Yes, definitely. And I've enjoyed a lot hearing about your experience and like how you're approaching this. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about Valhalla and like Valhalloween now. Um, so Valhalloween is coming up. It's days
Hmm.
away.
Yep.
How are you feeling heading into the big fight?
Man, I've been excited since the moment the card even came out. I've been itching to get in that cage. I've been going to training every day, putting as much work as I can. I try to get myself dead tired by the end of the practice. Like I want to know I can get to my full potential for this, because it's this is like I said, it's just a lot more than just like a fight for me. It's really has a lot of emotion on me, because I like I said, growing up there was a lot going on. Like my mom passing was a huge thing for me, and that really motivated me a lot in life. And I've always taken that and just ran with it. And every time I win or take my lump, I always think about what would she want, and that's always what I think about. And going into this event, I'm really excited to show, like I want to show everyone like how much love I have for this. And like
Yeah, definitely.
especially being at Valhalla, they make it so easy just to fit in and be comfortable about everyone, and that's all I could ever ask for.
That's amazing. That sounds so nice. So you've been training a lot, especially at Valhalla.
Hmm.
What do you think there's been like a special focus in your training? Like, how have you been preparing for the fight?
I'm definitely really dialing on the fundamentals. I already know I can be, where I'm best at. I'm really trying to get every little detail that I can get and make sure my game is going to be ready for whatever has to come to prepare for that fight. So I've been just trying to lock down, my grappling, my jujitsu. I'm really just trying to get all the little details all to fit in together, just so I want to be well rounded for this and just be ready for anything, because you never know, that anything could happen in that cage, so I have to be ready.
Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned before, it's so important to stay humble when you come about this sport. And when you're in the cage, you've trained, you've done everything you could, but the person that's in front of you has done that as well. So definitely
Exactly.
staying humble and not underestimating your opponent is key
Exactly.
to make sure that you offer the best fight you can offer.
Exactly. And that's all I would ever want, because everyone has their own story. Everyone has always come from something, and everyone always has a drive and always wants more. And that's where it comes, really who, sometimes it just really what comes down to who wants it more, and who really needs it. Sometimes it's just God's way of telling you that's the way.
Yeah, and what would you say you're expecting from Valhalloween?
Well, I expect to be at my best, and I know I'm expecting a good fight. I know I'm going against someone who is really experienced and definitely has a good background, and he's got some history around in the fighting. Like, he's been in there for a little while. I've seen some things about him, and I'm ready. I know what's I can't say I know exactly what there is to come, but I have an idea, and I'm just gonna try to run with that idea and have my strategy, have my plans, and just gonna, I can only do what I can do in there. Everything I've put in the work for, and that's just, that's I have to show out exactly what I can do.
What would you say we can expect to see from you at Valhalloween?
Well, I think you can expect. You definitely can expect a show. I'm really excited. I like to be fun with it. I'm not just like a straightforward I'm just gonna shoot, or I'm just gonna do this and this. I like to have fun with it. I like to bring a fight. I like to like I said, there's a lot of emotion in it. So it's not only just like technique, it's really just drive. It's really how hard you want it, how much how do I put this? It's really like how much you put into it when it comes to like the moments you're at your worst, you're crying, or you're at your happiest moments. All of it comes into effect when you go in that cage, and you really have an overview focus when you're in that cage, because everything will come and hit you at once if you let the nerves get to you.
Yeah, definitely. So okay, to close this interview, I wanted to ask you, um, so your career is just getting started. Valhalloween is right around the corner, and I wanted to know, after Valhalloween, what's next for you? Do you have any goals, any future matches that you want to talk to us about?
Well, I can't completely, say what the future has entailed, but I want to be back in that cage, as really as fast as I can, because I want to continue this, and I honestly, I live for this. I love this. It's really my drive, and I just have to keep going with the flow. I have to go with whatever time comes, whatever gets thrown at me is really what's gonna, set the standard for me. And all I can do is just know how much work I put in this, and how much effort, and how much everything I've put into it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Chase, for talking to us. It's
Of course.
great hearing people be so passionate about what they're doing. And well, now I'm just going to give you a minute where you can talk about Valhalla, what's coming up. This is your moment to invite our audience to come see you, what they can expect. So you take it away.
So I definitely think I have a lot to show. I think I definitely bring a lot of different aspects when it comes to my style when I go into fighting, just from my background. I think I'm going to show a lot of people what my funk and my scrambliness, what it can bring to this fight. And I want to show people that I'm not just going to be down to a grappler. I'm not going to be jiu-jitsu. I'm not just going to be a striker. I don't want to dial it down to all the just one thing. I want to be well-rounded, and I want to show everyone I can do that. And that's all I can do is just push for that. And like I said, I'm definitely going to bring a fight. I'm not going to go in it second guessing anything. I'm just going to know this is my time. This is my time to show what I can really do. Win or lose, I'm always going to be the most humble person I can be.
Great. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Chase. It was great having you here today, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you so much.